Howdy. Good to be here again. My most important question is, we have thoughts, a lot of thoughts that seem to come from nowhere, and I know that our job is to focus in the way we want to. So when we're focusing on the thoughts that feel better, are we generating thoughts inside of us, or are all the thoughts coming from somewhere else and we're just kind of trying to filter them?
Well, we really liked the way you began this conversation, because you said we're thinking thoughts that just seem to come out of nowhere. And so, but everything starts with a vibration, and let's just, for sake of this conversation, accept that a vibration and a thought are one and the same, except that in order for you to want to give it the label of a thought, it has to become big enough that you are able to decipher it in your consciousness. In other words, imagine a vibration that is a sound, but you can't hear it because it's not in your frequency. So you're not deciphering it, so you wouldn't call it a sound. You might not even call it a vibration. You might not even acknowledge its existence at all, because it's not perceivable by you. So let's say there are vibrations that aren't in your wavelength, so they're not perceivable by you. Law of attraction hasn't amassed them in a strong enough form, or you're not enough on the wavelength of them that your receiver is receiving the transmission of them, so they, as far as you're concerned, don't exist. But let's say that you've got something going on that is causing you to offer a vibration, and you're keeping it up enough that now it's coming to you loudly enough, isn't the perfect word, but in enough robustness that now you are perceiving it. And so then you call it a thought. And then you say, well, we love your question. Then you say, the thought came out of nowhere. Which you're answering the second part of your question with that. The thought didn't come out of nowhere. It came from an earlier vibration and an earlier vibration and an earlier vibration. So, you following this? So the key to deliberate creation is deliberate vibration. And the key to deliberate vibration is being sensitive to the way that you feel. It's sort of like what we were talking about earlier, that your body, the trillions of cells of your body, are being introduced to all kinds of things all day, every day. In the air, in the food, in your own body, through viruses and bacteria and whatever. So the cells, as they are sensitive, they know exactly what to do in order to ask for the alignment that they seek. And if they are allowed to do that when frequencies are very subtle, before they really get a foothold, then your body can stay in perfect balance all day, every day. But if you're in an ornery mood, or if you're worried about issues or whatever, so you're blocking your cell's ability to communicate with your cell's non-physical counterpart. Do you know that all consciousness has a non-physical counterpart? All consciousness has a vortex. Each of your cells has a vortex. You're following? So if you are feeling good and allowing your cell to ask and your cell to receive, then your body thrives. And so, now that seems a little off the subject, but it's really enhancing the conversation that we're having here. So if you care about how you feel, then you'll be sensitive to vibration, even though you may not be sensitive to thought. You could walk into a room, feel that there's something there. In other words, Esther didn't hear the driver of that truck in his confusion getting ready to veer over into traffic. There was no conversation, there was no thought. It was a vibration that was more subtle than that. But because Esther was tuned to the open road, to her joyful life, to her vortex, when something was about to happen that was not a vibrational match to what's in her vortex, she felt the subtle differences of it. It wasn't a thought, it was a vibration that she felt. So now come back to the perfection of your words. You really put them together really well, as you were wanting to know about the evolution of the thought? Where were you going with that?
When I'm focusing and choosing my thoughts and thinking, am I creating thoughts from within, or am I just
well, we have
focusing
to say,
on
we
the
have to
thoughts
say,
that
so your
come?
question is, am I creating them, or am I just setting a tone that causes the attraction of thoughts that already exist? And we say, both are happening, but if you, through the uniqueness of your life, and it is, and therefore you, through the uniqueness of a moment, are attracting the uniqueness of a combination of thoughts, aren't you the creator of the new combination?
Right.
And that's really important to know, because this conversation has never been before, and we've done a lot of talking.
A lot.
This conversation has never been before. This combination is causing a coalescing of your experiences and our experiences, and your knowing and our knowing, and we are taking thought beyond that which it has been before. Now, is this new thought made up of a lot of thoughts that have been thought before? Of course. Because none of us are going to go back to the beginning of vibration. We're all going to start where we are and add to it. But that is the satisfaction of creation. That's why you were willing to expose yourself into this unique environment and be this unique being that you are, in order to have your unique exposure to life experience, so that you could give birth to unique thoughts that your inner being will then hold steady, providing you the opportunity of catching up with them in order to experience the manifestation of the unique evolution that you carved out. Good, isn't it?
Very good.